Good evening and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News Hub here in Accra. I am Isa Moni.
And I'm Natalie Ford. To look at our top stories this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by...
4 suspected armed robbers attack transport and spare parts company in Accra.
National Democratic Congress NDC rubbishes 2017 Corruption Perception Index issued by the Ghana Integrity Initiative last week.
Also ahead this evening, passport office on Gamal Abdul Nasser Street in Accra closed without official notification.
And more Ghanaians back calls for election of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives.
And on the international front this evening, 5-hour halt in the ferocious Syrian government fight continues. Got the details of these stories for you here on News 360, including news from the world of sports and entertainment, streaming live all across the world on 3news.com, as well as TV3 Ghana on Facebook. In our very first story this evening, a 63-year-old man has been remanded into police custody by an Accra Circuit Court for offering for sale of his 9-year-old granddaughter for 100,000 cedis. The accused, Midaho Agboji, was arrested by the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department in Accra upon a tip-off.
The suspect was arrested on February 22 at Dankwa Circle in Accra. According to the police, he was looking for someone to sell his 9-year-old granddaughter. The police said some of the people he had contacted informed the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the police CID. The suspect was contacted in a meeting arranged. Midaho Agboji did showed up with a girl and offered her for 100,000 cedis. He was subsequently arrested when he was about to collect the money. Preliminary investigations later revealed that Agboji, a resident of East Legon, was the one initially taking care of the victim when one of his daughters came to pick her to the Volta region to live with her.
As we speak, the child has been sent to a shelter and is undergoing rehabilitation. We would also want to appeal to the general public that they should, as quickly as possible, volunteer information or give information to police regarding some of these criminal activities.
Midaho Agboji has since been remanded into police custody to reappear in 2 weeks.
And an Accra Circuit Court has remanded a 26-year-old Kenyan woman into police custody for trafficking into Ghana narcotic drugs with a street value of $90,000. The suspect, Ivy Mugure, was arrested by officers of the Narcotic Control Board on January 9 this year, carrying narcotic drugs at the Kotoka International Airport.
Ivy Mugure Daniel arrived at the Kotoka International Airport on board Ethiopian Airline flight ET921. She was arrested by NACOP officers stationed at the airport while undergoing arrival formalities. A search conducted in the luggage revealed a big parcel wrapped with black polythene material containing white powdery substance weighing 3 kilograms. A test conducted by the Ghana Standards Authority on the substance proved positive to speedball, a mixture of cocaine and heroin with an estimated street value of $90,000. The suspect claimed ownership of the luggage and admitted the offense. She, however, mentioned one Benson, whom she described as her fiancé in Kenya, as the one who gave her the parcel to be delivered to him in Accra. She was subsequently arraigned and placed in prison custody pending further investigations and trial.
Now, the passport office on the Gamal Abdul Nasser Street around the Rich Hospital roundabout has been closed down. There has been no word from any official at the office of policemen who continue to man the gate. Now, senior editor of TV3, Brighton and Armful, visited the passport office and has come through with this report. Right, let's go on the phone line right now and speak to Mohammed Habib Tijani, who is a Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister, and he will be speaking to the issue. Mohammed, salam alaikum, and welcome to News 360 on TV3. Hello, Mohammed, can you hear me? We are unable to speak to Mohammed at the moment because the lines haven't gotten through to him. But hello, Mohammed, good evening, and thank you for joining us.
To all your cherished viewers.
Right, very well, Mohammed, I can hear you now.
No.
Yeah, well, we understand the passport office at the Gamal Abdel Nasser runabout has been closed down. What is really the issue there?
Thank you. What happened was that almost 10 days ago, there was a lightning in the block during rain, and there was a fault in the lightning system. We were told that in the process, they saw smoke and fire coming out from parts of the lightning system, and everything went off. And so they were able to shut down the machines. Later, they brought electricians who came and realized that a lot of the wires were bent, including some of the gadgets. So quickly, information was brought to our office, and when we got the attention of what happened, an inspection was done, and quickly we are working on it. Hopefully by Friday, everything will be resolved, because currently we are rewiring the whole block. And at the same time, they are working on the firing system, like the fire. We have the Ghana Fire Service who are also working on the system. I'm quite sure that by Friday we will start operation.
Right. So Mohammed, what alternative plans have you made? Because this is disruptive to people's travel plans and those who want to process their traveling documents and so on and so forth. Is there anything that you can do for them at the moment?
Yeah, for now, there is. We haven't been able to do it because this is where the machines are printed. What we intend doing, rolling out the processing of passports into other regions, we intend to acquire more printing machines, because it is the printing system that is halted, but other processes still go on, right? It's the printing. So we intend to acquire more printing machines. But for now, within these 2 weeks, we haven't been able to do any printing because we haven't made that alternative arrangements for it. But we knew this could happen, and this time what we intend to do is to acquire more printing machines and open more printing stations in Ghana. For instance, we are just working on the Tema Passport Application Center, and we intend to, when we finish, we intend to be printing the booklets to printing at the Tema station too.
All right. And Mohammed, there appears not to be much information about the closure of the office. People have traveled from the regions to come here to get their documents processed. Why is it that there is no information whatsoever about the closing down of the passport office in Accra?
It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that information didn't come out, but it appears the passport director was working around the clock to ensure that it was restored. But nonetheless, information should have gone out, and most of us were not also around. My minister traveled out. I was also out of the country, and my colleague had also gone out. But I arrived yesterday, and today I went and had that inspection and spoke to some few radio stations.
All right, Mohammed Tijani, Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister, we thank you very much for your time on News 360.
Let's turn to some other stories this evening as the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has accused the Ghana Integrity Initiative of mischief in relation to its Corruption Perception Index it issued last week. The Ghana Integrity Initiative issued its Corruption Perception Index scoring Ghana 40 and attributing it to a wide range of corrupt activity which occurred under the previous administration and the current government, describing former President Mahama as the only president to have scored the highest CPI of 48. General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, said the GII cannot import dangerous opinion into a report issued by its mother organization, Transparency International.
Last week, Transparency International, which issued its report, gave a score of 40 to Ghana out of a clean score of 100. This placed Ghana at the 81st position out of 180 countries ranked. After the report, the government and the main opposition party, the NDC, have accused each other of contributing to the low score. The GII, in its report, attributed Ghana's low ranking to numerous corrupt activities which occurred under the erstwhile NDC administration and the current administration, including the bus branding scandal, the 2016 election-related corruption scandal, the Central Medical Stores arson, the National Lottery Authority bribery scandal, and the Ghana Standards Authority 1.2 million Ghana cedi corruption scandal. General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, said the GII's opinion is meant to cause mischief.
It was conducted by Transparency International. And then when Ghana Integrity Initiative was doing a press conference, they decided to import some dangerous opinions into that report, to create the impression for Ghanaians that what is happening on the CPI front was attributable to 2016. Let us watch our NGOs too and the way they conduct themselves.
He described a recent comment by President Nana Akufo-Addo in which he attributed the low score to the corruption recorded under NDC also as untrue. The NDC also catalogued corruption cases from 1998 to date and said former President Mahama remains by far the only president to have performed better among all other presidents.
The table above shows clearly that Ghana's best ever performance on the CPI was recorded under an NDC government led by President John Dramani Mahama in 2014, when he obtained a score of 48%. The table also shows that the country's worst ever performance was recorded in 1999 under President Jerry John Rawlings, and in 2002 and 2003 under President Kufuor, when we scored 33% in all these 3 years.
The General Secretary also predicted the country will score low again in the next ranking of the Corruption Perception Index.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Integrity Initiative says it is not perturbed by accusations from the National Democratic Congress, NDC, accusing it of mischief. The NDC had earlier accused the GII of putting its own interpretation in the report issued by Transparency International. Executive Director Linda Ofori-Kwafo, however, rejected these accusations.
We don't have any interest in interpreting the results differently because every information is on the website of Transparency International. You, the media houses, can go there and learn more about the CPI 2017, and you get to know nothing. Nothing was implanted, whatever the NDC is calling it. We have been in existence. If you go back and check all previous press releases, you obviously will have to cite reasons that might have influenced people's perception. And obviously, I've not listened to the NDC, but I'm very much sure they also try to explain. If they want to say NDC is corrupt, they will list a number of things that have happened. Will we say that NDC is also impugning other things into the CPI? No, we don't do it that way. CPI doesn't have to be politicized. We should be worried as a country how we've been dropping from the highest score we ever had of 48 to now 40. Actually, it really saddens me when I get to know that CPI is being politicized. We didn't do anything wrong. We actually presented the issues as they are.
To some other top stories this evening, 4 suspected armed robbers escaped after they took away an unspecified sum of money from a transport and spare parts company located at Ring Road, North Industrial Area in Accra. The robbers reportedly locked up staff of Royal Motors before running away with the money amidst sporadic gunshots to ward off people.
No one is reported to have been injured in the raid at about 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. They also reportedly took with them a CCTV system they suspected could expose them. In their haste to escape with their loot, the robbers ran their getaway saloon car into another car, causing the tires of their car to burst. They then abandoned their car, seized the nearest saloon car and managed to get away before the police arrived. According to the sales and marketing manager of the company, the robbers came in to purchase a motorcycle and were ushered into an office to discuss the cost for the item. In the course of the discussions, the robbers flipped a gun and began firing.
We heard a gunshot, a warning shot at the security gate. Then my secretary just ran to me, calling my name, screaming my name, Baba Lassan, I'm robbers. So I got up from my office. Then they pointed the gun at me. That's your life or the money. All of us, then I drew him down, then we all enter under the table. Open the drawer, carry his money, shouting, where is the money here and there, before they went to the cashier's room and carry the whole amount of sales that we had on our drawers.
Currently, the company has temporarily halted business activities.
And an Afrobarometer survey on local government indicates almost 7 out of 10 Ghanaians, representing 69%, want metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives elected. Only a quarter, representing 25%, however, want them nominated by the president and elected by assembly members.
The survey was conducted by the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, in all 10 regions of the country between September 9 and 25 last year. It is consistent with previous Afrobarometer findings conducted in 2008 and also in 2012, which revealed that majority of Ghanaians want MMDCs elected. The 2017 Afrobarometer survey touched on election of MMDCs, trust among public office holders, job performance amongst others. The findings also indicated that 51% of Ghanaians say the election of MMDCs should be non-partisan, while a sizable majority representing 41% prefer partisan elections. On responsiveness and accountability, 65% of respondents say local councillors do not listen to their views, whereas 75% also believe MPs never or only sometimes listen to their views on critical national issues.
Generally are saying that it is time we get the opportunity to elect our own MMDCs so as to improve transparency and accountability at the district level and also to improve decentralization.
Deputy Local Government Minister Osei Bonsu-Amoah is optimistic appointment of MMDCs would improve transparency and accountability at the local level.
Those going to vote for the assembly members in September 2019 would also be voting on the question whether these MMDCs should be elected on partisan basis or not. Based on the findings, and which we expect the media to also come on board to support, is the fact that there's a constitutional requirement that at such referenda, 40% of voters should have turned out. And then 75% of those who turn out should vote for that particular requirement, whether MMDC should be elected. So with the 51% saying that we should do the elections, it means there's more work to do.
Other speakers agreed making such positions elective would generally improve the local government system, and also called for more sensitization to enable citizens better understand the system and demand accountability from office holders.
It's still live here on News 360, streaming all across the world on 3news.com. We've got some more news for you in a few moments' time. Stay with us.
Hello again. In some more news tonight, President Akufo-Addo has said that Ghana needs to build value-added industrialized economies with modernized agriculture in order to take full advantage of the digital revolution if she is to create wealth and prosperity for her people. He said Africa needs to change the structure of her economy, which is largely dependent on production and export of raw materials. President Akufo-Addo was delivering the keynote address at the 5th German-African Economic Forum in Dortmund, Germany.
Describing Africa as a rich continent, if not the richest, President Akufo-Addo said Africa has the world's second fastest economic growth rate, the world's fastest growing region for foreign direct investment, and a young and vibrant population, and possesses nearly 30% of the Earth's remaining mineral resources. Thus, in order to create prosperity for the African peoples, President Akufo-Addo indicated that the priority must be to change the structures of the economies on the continent, which are dependent largely on production and export of raw materials.
Africa needs to transform stagnant, jobless economies built on the export of raw materials and unrefined goods to value-added economies that provide jobs, to build strong middle-class societies, and lift the masses of our people out of dire poverty. We can only do so if we participate in the global marketplace on the basis not of the exports of raw materials, but on the basis of things we make.
The continent's second priority, he said, should be to increase trade and investment cooperation, not aid, as this is one way healthy economic relations can be developed between Africa and Germany, and indeed with the rest of the world.
With Africa's population set to reach some 2 billion in 20 years' time, there are immense opportunities to bring prosperity to Africa and to Germany too, with hard work, enterprise, and creativity. I urge German organizations and companies present to take advantage of this and enhance their trade relations with Africa.
President Akufo-Addo suggested deepening German-Africa trade and investment to generate investment in agro-industry, the energy and power sectors, and infrastructural development. The president called for increased cooperation between Germany and Africa in ensuring the promotion of transparent, inclusive decision-making processes at local, national, regional, continental, and global levels.
I'm sure that really opens the tap for more business stories. And Abraham Price here with the numbers.
And that's right, Isa. Good evening and thanks for staying with us. Let's do some business now. Talking about the commodities and adding value, the Vice President has directed the Precious Minerals Marketing Company to test, weigh and add value to all gold bars before exporting them from Ghana. He said this will ensure that Ghana recoups revenue usually lost through undervaluing of gold by foreign mining companies. And Dr. Bawumia gave the directive in an address at a 3-day workshop in Accra to discuss fiscal management of mining as well as oil and gas.
The workshop assembled international experts in the diverse fields of the extractive industry of minerals, oil and gas. Discussions focused on ensuring prudent fiscal management in mining and exploration of oil and gas. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who spoke on fiscal management, expressed disquiet about abuse by some foreign firms.
You know, in oil, for example, if you have 100 barrels of oil, we know what our share is as a government. In the mining side, however, we have to wait till we are told that they've made profit or they've not made profit and whether we are getting any share.
He noted that some African countries have not benefited fully from oil discoveries and discovery of natural resources. In the case of Ghana, he has directed the Precious Minerals Company to be vigilant in the exportation of country's valuable natural resources. The Vice President said government plans to suspend the contract of a bauxite mining firm, which has operated for the past 5 years without paying taxes.
Vigorously mining for 5 years and declared no profits because they are claiming they've made no profits. And I'm trying to see how the theory of the firm will predict whether they will survive or not. 5 years of mining without profit, but they are vigorously mining. And we just don't see how that should be.
Foreign mining companies and some experts have expressed concern about the signing of mining contracts containing stabilization clauses, which do not benefit the host country. Since the discovery of oil in large quantities and the beginning of production in 2010, most of these companies failed to pay their taxes, citing the existence of stabilization clauses in their mining contracts. Under the stabilization clauses, companies are given more than 10 years tax holiday before they actually begin paying taxes to the host country. This invariably affects government revenue. Consequently, Vice President Dr. Bawumia pledged that government is committed to reviewing these contracts. Chief Administrator of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Carla Grosso, called for adequate policy formulation to streamline the payment of taxes by foreign mining firms.
It requires the right balance between saving some revenue for a rainy day or for future generations and scaling up budget spending on needed programs like infrastructure, health, and education.
The experts and representatives are expected to recommend ways in which processes and products from the extractive industry can be used to improve the conditions of communities around the mining areas.
Let's talk technology now, as the Chief Executive Officer of B Systems, Thomas Berfi, has challenged government to harness the competence of Ghanaian companies in its quest to digitize the economy. He is of the view not many Ghanaian-owned companies are benefiting from government's digital agenda, and he spoke to Alfredo Kansi at the Mobile World Congress underway in Barcelona, Spain.
We'll still bring you updates from the Mobile World Congress 2018 here at the Europa Plaza in Barcelona. Ghanaians are here as well, and I must say that over the 120,000 visitors expected. And I've been joined here by Thomas Berfi, who is the CEO of B Systems Limited Ghana. He's right here at the Mobile World Congress 2018 in Barcelona. So Berfi, thank you so much for your time. Now, what's your experience so far with what you've been seeing, the groundbreaking innovation so far as unveiled?
Well, this is my first time of coming to the Mobile World Congress, and so far I'm very, very impressed with the new technologies that are on display here. We came here as a company to look at some of the new technologies that are being done, and we also wanted to cross-check with our solutions that we are developing in Ghana to see whether we are on the same level as the Europeans.
What, in your view, is the assessment of what government has been doing so far, and what do you think can be done better as we try to digitize the economy?
Well, looking at the economy now and the way the government is also trying to help the government sector to digitalize, what we are also saying is that in any economy, the innovation starts first before regulations. So what we are saying is that the government should try and help most of the private sector to help them to digitalize all their solutions, so that we are the ones that knows what is going on in the industry. So instead for them to bring people from outside to develop these solutions for us, they should harness what we have in place. And then the companies in Ghana, B Systems, we have Ranka Solutions, we have Insano, we have Hoptel. All these are companies that can really help the Ghana government instead of them always looking outside. Because we have a lot of very groundbreaking companies there that we can help the government to digitalize most of their solutions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Thomas Berfi. I'm grateful. Thomas Berfi is the CEO of B Systems Limited Ghana, urging government to look within and harness the various solutions that Ghanaian companies or Ghanaian-owned companies can offer in a government's effort in digitalizing the economy.
Right, so after that big announcement, one of Samsung's messages with the new Galaxy S9 is that it's built for the way we communicate today. Now, Samsung's artificial intelligence assistant Bixby will be able to translate text it sees from the Galaxy S9's camera into the language of your choice with a feature called Bixby Vision. Once again, Alfredo Kansi has more from Barcelona.
All the exhibitors gathered here have come in with one thing in mind: to unveil their groundbreaking, revolutionary innovations put together and let the world know what the next phase of mobile telephone technology is. Lots of manufacturers and many mobile phone manufacturing companies have all descended here into Barcelona. But at the moment, we're right here in the home of the S9 and S9 Plus, which has been launched, or which has actually been unveiled, awaiting the official launch in March by Samsung. The S9 and S9 Plus is the newest innovation added to the Galaxy family. This is how the S9 and S9 Plus looks like. We're going to be joining an official of Samsung who will take us through the experience of what the phone is and why you should be excited about these two new additions to the Galaxy family, S9 and S9 Plus. Let's go and take a look at this.
Emoji is basically a function to create your own 3D avatar. When you create your own 3D avatar, then 18 emojis will be created automatically. You can create your own 3D avatar right there at Emoji Gallery later. And also this S9 can have this dual speaker right here and right here. So you all know that Samsung collaborated with AKG lately, so you can enjoy full sound effect offered by AKG with AKG tuning technologies.
Lots of people walking in to have hands-on experience of the two Galaxy phones, S9 and S9 Plus, that was unveiled by Samsung at the Unpacked event a couple of days ago. Stay with us as we bring you live updates from the Mobile World Congress 2018 from the Europa Plaza in Barcelona, Spain, exclusively on TV3 and 3FM, Onia FM, Connect FM, and on 3news.com. Alfred Akonsi, TV3 News, Barcelona.
I'm loving that phone. I don't know if Alfred is bringing one, but I'm sure I'll be the first to take a selfie with that. But remember, here in Ghana, it's hitting town by end of March, so prepare your cash for that. Let's move on to some more. And 2 economic enclaves and 6 markets in Accra and Tamale have been selected to benefit from an electricity access project under the Millennium Challenge Compact 2. Now, the $10 million project is intended to improve access to electricity and reduce illegal connections, a major cause of market fires.
8 out of 49 trading centers have been selected for the project. These other than Soman, Makola, Madina, Kaneshi, Agbogboloshi, Tamale Central, Tamale Timber and the Accra Timber Markets. Under the project, affordable and energy-saving bulbs will be installed, illegal power connections will be rectified, and efficient prepaid meters installed at the various markets. The Director General of Generation Projects at MIDA, Mawunyo Robsing, is optimistic the projects will enable traders make more profits.
Once you have reliable electricity supply, it basically provides the engine of growth for economic activity. You can imagine that we have a lot of small scale, medium scale enterprises. There are quite a number of them in the country that basically constitute a large chunk of economic growth. And therefore, once we are able to supply adequate and reliable electricity to the markets and to the economic enclaves, we have in a way helped to ensure that their businesses would be enhanced.
President of the Greater Accra Market Association, Mercy Nijan, advised traders to desist from illegal connections which could result in market fires.
This will solve about 80–90% of the fire outbreaks in the market. I'm pleading with my market folks, please, if you have to shift small for a meter to pass through or for a pole to be placed, please, I'm pleading with you. We shouldn't make any hula baloo about this thing. We should allow them to do the work so that we'll get our peace of mind and we'll be safe.
The project is expected to begin early next year, with 14,674 stores being beneficiaries.
And there's more on 3news.com. That will do for business. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. News 360 continues after this. Good evening.
Let's now take a look at some other news this evening. Today on MTN Video Report, our citizen journalist Christian Tete reports on the state of electricity poles at Kaswa in the central region.
As you can see, this dangerous, disastrous pole here, it burned almost 2 years ago. But I don't know, our leaders got it and do anything about it. So do something about it. You see almost about two poles here. See the second one. They can see that. This one too, I've burned. My name is Christian Tete, reporting from Kaswa Ofanko, Mrs. Cottage.
And you can also get involved in our MTN Video Reports. They visit our social media pages, 3news.com and TV3 Ghana on Facebook, and find out how. We've got some more news for you shortly. Stay with us.
We have some international news coming up next.
Fighting continued in the rebel-held eastern Ghouta area of Syria during the first daily 5-hour pause ordered by the government's ally Russia. Activists said there were government air and artillery strikes, while Russia said rebels had shelled a humanitarian corridor meant to let civilians leave. As a result, there were no UN aid deliveries or medical evacuations. Some 393,000 people are trapped in the enclave near Damascus, which has been besieged by the government since 2013. Medics say more than 500 people have been killed since the government intensified its bombardment 9 days ago in an attempt to retake the enclave. New South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced his cabinet making substantial changes to ministerial positions. He reappointed Nhlanhla Nene as finance minister, reversing his sacking by the former president Jacob Zuma. Mr. Zuma, who is facing charges of corruption, was forced to stand down earlier this month by his own party. Mr. Ramaphosa took over, promising a new dawn for the country and pledging to be tough on corruption. Still on the international front, women in Syria have reportedly been sexually exploited by men delivering aid on behalf of the UN and international charities. Aid workers said the men would trade food and gifts for sexual favors. This incident follows the probe by the UN of Ghanaian peacekeepers over alleged sexual exploitation. Despite warnings about the abuse of Syrian women by aid workers 3 years ago, a new report shows it is continuing in the south of the country. UN agencies and charities said they had zero tolerance of exploitation and were not aware of any cases of abuse by partner organizations in the region. Aid workers say the exploitation is so widespread that some Syrian women are refusing to go to distribution centers because people would assume they had offered their bodies for the aid they brought home. The United Nations Population Fund conducted an assessment of gender-based violence in the region last year and concluded that humanitarian assistance was being exchanged in various areas in Syria. Currently, the UN is also probing Ghanaian peacekeepers over alleged sexual exploitation. The Ghanaian police unit working with the UN peacekeeping mission in South Sudan are being investigated for breaching the UN's sexual exploitation and abuse rules. An executive director of Abantu for Development is dismayed about the trend of sexual exploitation of vulnerable women by aid workers and wants perpetrators punished.
I think it's unfortunate because if those who are supposed to be supporting or protecting the rights of these people are actually the perpetrators of these acts, then it's a shame. But I think it's a more serious issue than it's coming out. I think that these are things that have gone on for a long time and they've only now been exposed. And I'm hoping that the appropriate authorities will take measures to actually prevent these things from happening. I was happy when I read that the Ghana Police Service has said that they would, support the process, lend their full support to the process. It's extremely important because it's about time we name and shame some of these things. Because people get away with it, people continue to perpetrate these acts. But it's a shame, and it's unfortunate. It's such a bad, on Ghana. You can't even begin to think about it. But we really need to end it, and end it now.
The investigation into the conduct of the Ghanaian police unit began after reports on transactional sex with women living at one of the protection camps, with gifts or favors given in exchange for the encounters.
And there's some more international news on our website, 3news.com. Next is entertainment news.
And in this segment tonight, the Media General conglomerate comprising of TV3, 3FM, Odmia FM, Akoma, and Connect FM on Monday inked a deal that will allow the media powerhouse broadcast live the 19th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Now, the news has been met with praise by some music enthusiasts who are eager to follow every process of the all-exciting event.
All right, so Media General and Charterhouse, producers of the prestigious Ghana Music Awards, on Monday reached a deal that will ensure that millions of Ghanaians will be able to monitor and enjoy the 19th Ghana Music Awards from the comfort of their homes. And some music enthusiasts have been reacting to this news.
Not all of us can be there at that moment, so it will be due if they show it on like a live coverage or a nationwide coverage, so that those even beyond Accra, let's say in Kumasi or in Tamale, can also have the opportunity to know what is happening in Ghanaian music. Yeah, I know TV3 doesn't fail with things.
I am very excited, especially when it's TV3 and the fact that they've rebranded, and if they are getting the opportunity to host the VGMA, it is a good thing, and we are expecting a lot and more entertainment stuff than what we experience almost each and every year.
So when you say you were expecting a lot, what specifically would you want to see?
This is interesting. Okay, they should bring Bruno Mars, maybe, if they can, because that's my favorite person, or maybe Ed Sheeran.
There's this thing about VGMA that the youth usually relate with. That's the fun, the excitement, the entertainment. TV3 partnering with Charterhouse. Me as a youth, I'll be expecting a lot. A more vibrant VGMA than the other ones we've experienced the years before.
That's awesome, because having to stay home and then say you want to go, but you have this money somewhere, you're looking at it somewhere, but TV3 is going to bring everything. Trust me, I'll just relax and then say congrats to TV3 for making me watch it at home.
TV3 bringing us to our doorstep is going to be much more exciting.
The VGMA board will on Saturday, March 3, release the much-awaited VGMA nomination list. This will be broadcast on all Media General platforms. Showbiz analyst and general manager of MG Digital, Francis Doku, is positive the MG Charterhouse partnership will treat viewers to nothing short of top quality education.
I mean, one of the things that we have complained about as Ghanaians who watch VGMA on television over the years have been the quality of production as compared to other events that we watch. And so we have had a discussion with Charterhouse, and we continue to have, we'll continue to give our view on how we think that the quality of the production should be. It's a Charterhouse content there to do the production, and we pick, but we would have a bit of say in advising how the content should go, so that we get the best for them and get the best also for us, and in that regard also get the best for our audience.
Certainly promises to be very exciting. And still in entertainment, the outgoing chairman of the Musica Presidential Grand Ball, Samuel Afari Date, has been honored for his contribution and efforts in developing the music industry.
Samuel Afari Date, a forestry engineer, is hailed by many for taking special interest in the development of music. In 2015, he accepted another challenge to serve as chairman of Musiga's Presidential Grand Ball Board. The Musiga Grand Ball has chalked major successes under his chairmanship. Legislator George Anda served with Samuel Afari Date on the Grand Ball Board for 2 terms.
To Afari, I think creativity is his middle name. And I'm not surprised that in the hospitality, creative arts industry, he clearly stands out. Everything that he touches turns to gold.
Samuel Afari Date is greatly admired for helping secure investment to revamp flagship projects, including Musiga's Aging Musicians Welfare Fund. Under his tenure, 5 veteran musicians received 10,000 Ghana cedis each for their contribution to the growth of the Ghanaian music industry. In 2017, Samuel Afari Date bought late songstress Irama Bedu's acoustic guitar for 30,000 Ghana cedis at the Musiga Grand Ball. Whilst pledging his continuous support for the industry, the outgoing chairman challenged the union to adopt innovative fundraising ideas to fund its major projects.
What I brought was the ability to raise funds, and if we succeeded in doing that, then I'm happy to have been part of it. I realized that we always focusing on the same organizations to help us, the MTNs, the GLOWs, and so on and so forth. And most of these organizations had become sponsorship fatigue. It was important that we look outside the box. And if that yielded the results, then I'm happy.
Well, that promises a lot of excitement on TV3, particularly the VGMA deal is going to take that program to the next level.
Certainly.
Trust TV.
Certainly, on TV3 and on all our media general platforms.
Absolutely.
So it promises to be very exciting. And thanks so much for watching. That does it for News 360 this evening from the News Hub at Adisa Weekend. We've got more news on our website, 3news.com. I'm Natalie Fort.
I'm Issa Moni. Have a wonderful evening.